Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So we're in the middle of a self-care challenge, and for tomorrow, it is body positivity. Hooey woody. I know. It's kind of this movement where you accept your body as it is, but you don't have to accept your whole body. What is one element that you're always pleased with? That you're always pleased with? Now, I still have Invisalign, and it was supposed to just be about a 13-month, 14-month process. It's going to take me 2 years. And part of that is because I was essentially allergic to the Invisalign. Like, the plastic totally affected my mouth, was burning my tongue. And so I had to reduce using them as often. Like, you're supposed to wear them 20 to 22 hours a day. I had them down to like 6 or 7. You know, I did the best I could. So I'll be wearing mine for a while more. But if you go back to my introduction video, you'll see how far apart my teeth were and how spread out they are. And they've come a really long way. I've always liked my smile, praise God. And so I would definitely say my smile. Another thing that I appreciate are my feet, which is super funny. They're not fantastic feet. I mean, feet aren't always great, but what I love about my feet is how honest they are. I mean, first of all, they've carried me through every situation in my life. And also, I can tell by my ankles whether I'm retaining water or not, whether my body is functioning properly, and my ankles never lie. So when I see that my feet are not storing any water, that my ankles are in line with my feet, I really appreciate that. So those are some of my favorite things, and I'll be able to focus on that. I don't know what you got. What is one element? Maybe you're so hot you love every bit of you. All right, that said, what I wanted to talk about along with body positivity has been my struggles. So I've totally gained weight. This is not news to anyone. What might be news is that I've continued to gain weight. So back around, I remember October 31st, exactly. I've been on a rage. I've been in a very dark time. I've put on a ton of weight very quickly. It was that loose, fleshy weight that comes on very quickly. And I finally got back into the 12-step program and Overeaters Anonymous. And I, you know, by all accounts, got back on plan, if you will. And so with that, I presumed that I would start losing weight. But I didn't start losing weight. In fact, I gained weight. But here's what was going on and what's still going on at the same time. And what it is that I've restricted, like, for all my life, okay? I started totally dieting in 3rd grade and memorized every single calorie, every single portion of every single food. And I never had the ability to just eat without that going on in my head. And then even when I got into the vegan movement, which I had hoped would be freedom, that I'd be able to just eat whatever the plant-based, God-produced food would be. But right away, I was given a program that essentially was restricting as well, which literally said to not consume, you know, more than between 14 and 1600 calories. And it's like, when you look at the calorie intake, I mean, even the American Food Association or Diet Association, I can't think of the term, says a 2,000 calorie diet. It's based on a 2,000 calorie diet. And for some people, of course, that would be a lot of food. But the thing is, you know, with the understanding that just to open my eyes takes 1,650 calories, essentially, just to function, the body is always, in a sense, thinking that it's fasting or that it needs to, you know, fast. And so I dared to go above and beyond. I decided that I would consume at least 1,900 and maybe even 2,100 calories. And I understood that I would gain weight initially until my body found a balance. Like, that's just straight up. Because not only did I go for those calories, but I stopped intermittent fasting. And I was doing both. And yay, right? But no, because I just know that there's freedom to be found in plant-based vegan and certainly raw vegan. I know there's freedom. and I've never had the freedom, and my body's in shock, and everybody's going to argue calories in, calories out, no wonder you put on weight, la, la, la. I get it. So anyway, there's a person, and she's controversial. Her name's Stepanie Buttermore, and I'm going to include her just kind of general video about her weight gain in the description of this video. So what the story was with Stepanie was that she was actually into bikini modeling and weight building, right? That went along with that. And she would restrict, of course, and she would be in the model mode, and she would keep her calories down, and she was skinny and strong and phenomenal. But she was starving all the time, and she finally wanted to break through and be done with that. And so she went ahead and just, I can't remember what she called it. I was going to say go for broke, but I think it was called like the All In or something like that. But she's not vegan, and she went, and it might be hard to watch, she went crazy. She consumed 5,000 calories easily in a day. 5,000 calories. And that was coming from everything, from pizza, lasagna, like everything. She just went for broke because she wanted to stop restricting. She wanted to stop the games of just all the games, intermittent fasting, the whole thing. So she ended up gaining 42 pounds, which on her frame, on any frame, it's a lot. But on her frame, it's a lot. And finally, after the 42 pounds, she finally got to a point where her body was satiated, where she just didn't feel called to consume that number of calories again. And so she finally found a balance, a little over 2,000 calories or whatever, and her body went down. She never got as thin as she was the first time, which wasn't her intention anyway. But let's say that she released like 30 of those pounds, and then the rest was muscle anyway. But she broke through. Then, of course, more recently, no surprise, because she comes from disordered eating just like me. She comes from, you know, the whole paranoia. She's a social media phenom and, you know, has more than 1 million followers, I'm sure. And so people were super hypercritical of her weight gain, of the excess, everything, whatever. She finally found balance and freedom. And then she kind of bought into the hype of people criticizing her and everything else. And she ended up losing weight again and losing it in the extreme because she doesn't have a sense of herself. And so she's finally coming back to finding balance again. And I appreciate her honesty. But I just put her initial video on there so you could see what her situation was. So for me, no, there's no desire to be obese again. I don't need to be 280. I don't need to be 300. I don't need to be 330. None of that. No. But I believe in there's a lot of people out there, you know, who absolutely say this. I mean, Lissa's Raw Food Romance, JD Raw, Freely, you know, the Frugivore Diet, guy, who else? I can't even think of Chris's name. He's so fantastic. Lives in Sweden, has 2 cats and a wife. Okay, the Raw Advantage. The Raw Advantage. Yes, all one word. Anyway, yeah, Chris from the Raw Advantage, like all of them recognize that intermittent fasting isn't necessary. Yeah, it's a great tool for many people, but it's not necessary. And that you can have 2,100 calories, which, again, above your metabolic rate is really only like 500 calories, right? And of course, other people do more. And I get it. There's a whole argument about, but Jules, you're older and you're overweight and everybody knows you've got to have that calorie deficit. Well, the argument is that there is a calorie deficit already, even at 2,000 or 2,100 calories. So if you've been wondering, why are you putting on weight, Jules? I am desperately trusting this process. And I think at any moment my body's going to say, okay, we're safe and we can start letting go. Anyway, I can't go for too long. I kind of panicked because I have to get all my blood and everything done on April 21st. And my doctor expected me to drop weight because she gave me like a 3-month window, and she had no idea that I was going to play this game of deciding to stop my intermittent fasting and deciding to stop my calorie restricting, and oops, right? But, you know, I believe, I can't explain it. Even my husband's like, Julie, you're crazy. What are you doing? And I'm like, hon, I can't explain it. I can't explain why it feels so right to me and why I'm taking this risk. But yeah, am I uncomfortable? Yeah. And then I think, well, Stepanie Buttermore, she knows she gained 42 pounds. And then finally she found her balance. Her body broke. She lost 30 of it. It was the better way to go. I mean, I know she's not my story. She's much younger than I am. And I have far more than just that weight. But it doesn't matter. My whole goal was freedom. When we talk about our why, what was my why? Freedom from obsession of my head. Freedom from having to count every flipping calorie. Freedom from having to worry about my window. I mean, no wonder my body's so screwed up. You know, I started my Invisalign, and that's why I even brought them up. I had them in 22 hours a day, 20 hours a day. I literally just had like a 3-hour window. And in that 3-hour window, I binged my whole 1,400 calories, and it was really hard. My husband could not believe it. He watched me like consume 3 meals of my whole day because I was trying so hard to honor my teeth. Like, a lot of things went wrong this year for me. And I just need to find that balance, because I just believe that God has a great plan for me, and it's a risk I'm willing to take. So that's where I'm at, friends. If you were kind of like, Jules, what's up, girl? That's what's up. And I will keep you posted. Now, if you see me on my 600-pound life, you'll probably know that it didn't work. But if it doesn't, it's because I'm a liar, and there's no way I'm just eating fruit and vegetables, right? So yeah, you can gain weight on that if indeed your body has been in a deficit and thought it was starving and has suddenly counted every calorie put in there. But my body's figuring it out. It really is. Anyway, so tomorrow's body positivity. For the moment, I can always go with my smile. I can go with my feet. That's my story, people. Can you relate at all? Don't be a Tanny Raw. No offense, but Tanny Raw was just like, Jules, I see you going off a cliff, and I can't go with you. People, I've got extra parachutes. We can all go off that cliff together and then just ride it out. It's all good. Okay, like if you like, join us if you haven't subscribed. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.